and welcome to Kent Tonight Live on KMTV. I'm Kristen Hawthorne and here are your top stories on Monday the 22nd of December. Yellow fines. Sittingbourne blue badge holders receive double yellow line parking fines that they say are unjust.
I've lived in Sittingbourne 47 years and I've parked here for years, always done the same thing, always put my blue badge up.
The Season of Hope. A Gillingham family is using the festive season to give back, raising money for Muscular Dystrophy UK.
This charity has supported us a lot through his whole diagnosis.
And we meet the Fera Pups, bringing joy to hospital wards across Kent and Medway.
So you can definitely tell the difference it makes for the patients, especially those that have got animals at home.
Our top story tonight, dozens of Sittingbourne pharmacy customers have been fined for parking at the entrance to an industrial estate while collecting their medication. Many of these customers are blue badge holders who are legally allowed to park on double yellow or single yellow lines for up to 3 hours provided it's a public road. Camson's pharmacy customers have parked there for decades without punishment until between July and November, where residents suddenly started receiving penalty notices, as Megan Shaw has been finding out.
A quick trip to the pharmacy and a £100 fine, despite no signage indicating a change of policy. Sittingbourne's Camson's pharmacy customers for decades have been stopping on double yellow lines at the entrance to an industrial estate to quickly collect medication. That's until July to October this year, when customers were hit with fines from One Parking Solution on behalf of the apartment complex next door, Springfield Place.
We've been parking over in the same positions that car is now for 40 years. Going into the chemist, having been to the doctors, and have never had a problem parking. In July, I parked. I was literally there for maybe 1 minute 30 seconds, and during that time, they filmed me from the camera up there. I inadvertently didn't realise that there was a sign, it's a new sign, and in that 1 minute 30, I got a £100 fine.
Blue badge holders are able to park on double yellow lines for up to 3 hours, yet there is no signage to indicate blue badge restrictions apply here.
Now I'm stood just where people with these blue badges would have parked, just for 5 or 10 minutes to pop into the pharmacy, which I can see just over there. Without this parking option here, just how far would people with mobility issues and blue badges need to walk to be able to access the pharmacy? Well, come with me and we'll see.
It might not be a substantial walk for someone able-bodied like me, but it's a significantly longer trip to park in one of the adjacent streets, providing their space in the first place. And for blue badge holders who might have mobility issues or have COPD like Mike, you can see how this could prevent them from accessing the medical care they need.
I was pretty angry because I didn't see any signage at all when I come in. I've been parking, I've lived in Sittingbourne 47 years and I've parked here for years, always done the same thing, always put my blue badge up, so I didn't think I'd done anything wrong. I did appeal it, and then I got a letter back saying that the appeal was rejected.
Residents described temporary signage, but when I got there I saw just the one, halfway into the estate, a while away from where residents were being fined. Camson's pharmacy explained their patients were unhappy with the situation, having received many fines, yet due to the charges being enforced by a private company, had little say in the matter. We approached One Parking Solution for comment, but they did not get back to us. But with no final clarity from One Parking Solution, residents like Mike and Ken are simply left to read between the lines. Megan Shaw for KMTV in Sittingbourne.
61-year-old Juliet Carroll said she was treated appallingly at the William Harvey Hospital in Ashford after being taken to A&E. Miss Carroll was taken to hospital after experiencing abdominal pain at home in Ashford early on the 12th of December, but was in so much agony that she lay on the floor of the hospital. Over the next few hours, she says that staff repeatedly walked past her without checking on her condition or offering basic pain relief and left her sick bowl full to the rim. The Trust's chief nursing officer said that they recognise that waiting in severe discomfort is distressing and that emergency departments prioritise patients based on clinical need after an initial assessment. Juliet spoke more about her experience earlier today.
I couldn't stand being in a wheelchair. There was nowhere I could lay down. I couldn't stand up, so I got something on my legs, so I couldn't stand up. And eventually, when in A&E, there's an emergency bed in the corner. So I managed to get myself up there for about 5 minutes, and then two guys come over to me and made me get off the bed. I feel really angry because, one, I've paid towards my national insurance all my life, you know, and there was no help. There was nothing. There was not a care, not anything. Members of the staff in the corners talking amongst themselves. For a patient to offer me help, not a member of staff, when there was quite a lot about, it's broken.
A woman has been charged after vehicles were damaged in an arson attack, which left residents fearing an explosion had gone off. Officers were called to the fire at Carton House in Chatham just after midnight on Saturday the 13th of December. According to officers, a pile of rubbish was set alight, which caused the damage. 40-year-old Michelle Sutcliffe was charged with arson and is due to attend a hearing at Maidstone Crown Court on the 16th of January. And next, the Gillingham family is using the festive season to give back, raising money for Muscular Dystrophy UK through Christmas-themed events and activities. Muscular dystrophy is a condition marked by progressive weakening and wasting of the muscles, including the heart and lungs. The charity provides support and information for people with the disease and other muscle wasting conditions. Maisie Walker has more.
When the Christmas lights turn on, the festivities really get going. Streets are decked out with decorations and even Santa's elves are up past their bedtime.
A family in Gillingham is using the festive period to give back, raising money through various Christmas activities.
Pulling it off takes the whole family, with months of planning behind the scenes.
They store a lot of this in garages, believe it or not, and it takes them over a month, I believe, to do this display. But it's a good reason why they do it. Because of her son. Now you're right, I'm not just helping her little child, I'm helping millions of children out there with the same problem.
A member of the family who helps with the event every year has a son who is diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, which is a condition marked by progressive weakening and wasting of the muscles, including the heart and the lungs.
My son got diagnosed with muscular dystrophy last year. So yeah, it's a bit of a shock to the family. So that's why we raise money for them. This charity has supported us a lot through his whole diagnosis, and so yeah, it's an important charity to us.
Muscular Dystrophy UK provides support and information for people with the disease and other muscle wasting conditions.
There's actually more than 60 types of muscular dystrophy, not just a singular condition. Duchenne being one of the most common, mainly affected for young boys. It's very hard to diagnose, and there's limited support for families suffering with the condition, which is kind of where we step in. We've currently put £2 million in 30 new studies this year. We're funding around 51 research projects, so we're really trying to push early diagnosis, support for the families. The NHS is very over encumbered, so it's very difficult to get those early diagnoses.
And so it seems the greatest gift this year is hope. Maisie Walker for KMTV, Gillingham.
And Maisie joins us now for more to tell us a little bit more about it. So can you tell me more about what is muscular dystrophy?
Yeah, so the muscular dystrophies are a group of rare conditions that gradually cause muscles to weaken and waste. Some signs to look out for include muscle weakness, stiffness or pain, and changes in mobility such as difficulty walking, lifting things, and increased occurrence of falls.
And what support is available for people living with the condition?
So generally speaking, it's medication, physiotherapy and adapted equipment which can support symptom management and help improve the quality of life. Muscular Dystrophy UK, who we heard from a little bit there, fund groundbreaking research to help understand the different conditions better and lead us to new treatments. And they are actually even the leading charity for over 60 muscle wasting and weakening conditions. And I spoke to Chris Strong, who works for the charity, who can tell us a little bit more about the services that they offer.
we are currently doing a Christmas appeal for our Seb and Oscar Family Fund. The appeal invites people to give the gift of hope by donating to help support individuals and families affected by muscle wasting conditions, such as Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Funds raised help the charity continue its practical and emotional support services, including helplines, support groups, information resources, and fund vital research into treatments and cures.
And then going back to the fundraiser you had visited, what was the atmosphere like? We've got this lovely picture here and, I mean, it looks amazing.
It was fantastic. You know, the atmosphere was brilliant. You know, they had all kinds of different decorations, as you can probably see here, inspired by a multitude of different movies and TV shows. And
are they on the screen as well?
Yeah, there you go. And, you know, there was even a glow-up Minion and some gingerbread people, as you can see there, Minnie Mouse, as well as two, you know, Minnie and Mickey were there, and you know what really makes this you know, event special is that they even offer SEN evenings. They said on their social media platforms that the SEN days would be more calm and relaxed, the lights would be dimmed lower, creating a comfortable environment for anyone that would like to attend.
All right, brilliant. Thank you so much, Maisie. We will be back in a few minutes with more news. See you then. Hello and welcome back to Kent Tonight live here on KMTV. Now, a trio of Tunbridge Wells siblings have starred in a music video by the Florin Street Band. The music video for the song Wonderful Things has reached over 1 million views on YouTube in the 2 weeks since it was uploaded. The trio, Lola, Arlo and Noah McLeff, who are 6, 8 and 10 years old, were found by the band's creator Lee Hagerwood on Instagram after coming across a video of them singing the band's first Christmas hit, My Favourite Time of the Year. Mr. Hagerwood said that he believes the siblings have a very bright future ahead. Now for a look at all the latest sports news from across the county with Finn McDermott.
Let's have a look at your sports headlines. And first of all, Gillingham manager Gareth Ainsworth has said he'll be looking for a goal-scoring striker in the upcoming transfer window. He added that the squad weren't threatening enough in the second half of their away clash at Fleetwood. And even though Bradley Dack is back to good fitness, they can't keep relying on the midfielder. He scored his 6th league goal of the season at the weekend, as many as the club's 4 main strikers combined. Ainsworth said the team has missed golden opportunities that top strikers in this league will put them in. Let's hear more of what the manager had to say after the loss.
We had enough chances in the first half to go 1 or 2 or 3 up, but if you miss your chances, you're always prone to getting punished. And Fleetwood's punished the second half. They were quite relentless in what they were doing. Bradley's at the post second half, but really we weren't threatening second half again. It's been a tough couple of halves. The last 2 games, the last 2 halves. But we gotta realise we're in a pretty tough place, get out of it, and we got 2 home games and must win home games. And I wanna try and be competitive in both to win both games. 6 points would make a huge difference to where we are.
Now to rugby, and Canterbury have confidently continued their 5th straight win streak, this time at Sevenoaks. The side had been dominating this Kent derby in all areas, with them maxing out the points and scoring 5 tries to beat out the home side. Ben Adams kicked Sevenoaks into an early lead with a penalty goal, but they soon surrendered to a penalty try for illegally pulling down Canterbury's driving maul. That cost them 7 points and a yellow card, punished further by a second Canterbury try. Canterbury sit 5th in the standings, 10 points behind leaders Old Albanian. Turning towards cricket now, the Sheldwich Cricket Club held their end-of-season celebration with awards handed out across the club. Player of the Year and Bowler of the Year went to Division 10 Shepherd's top wicket-taker Sam Evans, who claimed more than 30 scalps across the summer. James Creed claimed Batsman of the Year, having racked up 2 centuries and 2 half-centuries on his way to 480 league runs at an average of 80. The Saturday side came 3rd bottom in Kent League Division 10 Shepherd, but find themselves relocated to Division 11 for the 2026 season. And lastly from me, from land to sea, Maidstone's F1 powerboat racer finished just outside the top 10 at the F1 H2O Championships, which concluded this weekend. Ben Jelf raced in Sharjah at the weekend, bringing an end to his 3rd season at the level. He told Kent Online the city holds a special place for him, being the place he first competed in the F1 H20 Championships. He finished 7th in the Grand Prix at Jeddah last time out. That's all from me. You can keep up with all your sports stories on Invicta Sports.
Now, don't forget you can keep up to date with all our latest stories across Kent by logging onto our website kmtv.co.uk. There you'll find all our reports, including this one, which takes a look at how a community project in Medway is creating a space for women to help them learn new practical skills, build confidence and connect with others.
Here in Medway, this group of women meet up every week to combat social isolation. Women in Sheds offers a safe place for individual hobbies and community projects. It's a way of creating a sense of purpose and achievement, as well as boosting social interaction.
Women love to have conversations. They need the friendship and that comes from being in a women's only group. And it differs because a lot of it's not so much about being only in the sheds and making tools and using the tools and making different objects and products. It's more about the health and the well-being and the positive retaining that, and to offer a space where women feel safe, that they can build relationships with others.
In this session, one member taught the other women how to make paper stars, as learning new skills is one of their core values. Other activities can range from gardening and woodwork to electronics and crafts.
Just coming here and being part of something in a very caring way. We have a WhatsApp group here, and when any of us are struggling, you know, if we're not here face to face, we can WhatsApp each other, and people will give advice and help. And just to know somebody out there that you know is listening.
Work's been quite fraught of late, so actually this has been a real godsend for me, and being able to just come and be yourself without expectation, being able to be creative I find really useful in terms of just that kind of mindfulness, kind of just encourages you to relax, because sometimes it can be difficult depending on what life has thrown at you.
After seeing the success and importance of men's sheds on people's lives, women across the county wanted their own space where they could talk, create friends and gain transferable skills. But Women in Sheds currently only runs in Medway, and with so much eagerness across women to have more of these safe environments, there are plans to enhance these spaces even further. Naila Mohammed for KMTV.
Now it's time to take a quick look at the weather in the lead up to Christmas. Cloudy start to this evening with temperatures dipping to around 8 in Ashford and Tunbridge Wells and highs reaching 9 degrees. Into tomorrow morning then turns a little cooler with lows of 6 degrees and highs of 7 in Margate and Canterbury. The afternoon brings more of the same with plenty of cloud and temperatures peaking at around 7 degrees in Maidstone and Medway. And then on Wednesday we've got 5 degrees, cloudy skies. Thursday clear skies 4 degrees, and Friday clear skies again 6 degrees. So maybe not a white Christmas. And speaking of a white Christmas, with Christmas now just 3 days away and no sign of Jack Frost just yet, Kent remains snow-free. Kent last saw light snowfall in early March 2023 and heavier snow back in April 2008, if you remember. We went to Rochester High Street to ask people if they want a white Christmas this year.
Last time I had a white Christmas, I think it was 2000.
Can't remember that ever happening.
Many years. I would say in the 70s.
It was either 2016 or 2011.
Maybe 15 years ago?
2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago. Oh, there you go.
I'd be quite happy to have some snow, yes.
Not really, because I've got to do quite a lot of driving on Christmas Day, so it would probably ruin my journey, but it would be quite pretty.
Ah, it'd be great. I'd love it.
It'd be nice, I suppose, you know. Better on cards, I would think, on Christmas cards.
Christmas Day, yes. Any time before that, no, we're too busy.
I'd go out and play in the snow.
It is fun, isn't it? There's nothing quite as magical as snow.
Oh yeah, be out there throwing snowballs at my son.
I do like the snow, yeah.
Do you know what will constitute a white Christmas?
Not really.
No.
No, it's going to be about 3 snowflakes out the sky, isn't it?
3 inches?
What? 1 snowflake.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Our reporter Naila Mohammed joins us in the studio now to talk us through whether Kent will have a white Christmas after all. So, first of all, what is a white Christmas?
So generally speaking, white Christmas is snow falling or already being on the ground on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
You can imagine the scenes as very picturesque, very much like your traditional Christmas card or something you'd see in a Hallmark movie, essentially. But the official definition is very specific. It's just one single snowflake falling anywhere across the UK.
It's not quite as much as this.
No, not quite so much. Just one tiny little speck is all you need for it to be white Christmas. And it has to be within the 24 hours of Christmas Day, and it needs to be spotted by a weather forecast organisation as well, which is surprisingly rare. I mean, we've not had a white Christmas for a good, well, not in Kent anyway, for a good couple of years now. The last one was in 2023, and even then it wasn't even that heavy of a snowfall.
And will Kent see a white Christmas this year? We had a look at the weather forecast, but what did you find out?
Well, forecasters say there's just a small chance that we will have a white Christmas. I mean, especially down here in the southeast, the temperatures and climate is getting much colder, it's getting much drier, so there is a chance we are going to see some snowfall. But do not get hopes up. Just because there's going to be snowfall does not mean it's going to settle either. So, you know, much like in the Voxes we heard earlier with people wanting to go out and play in the sun, the snow, that's not going to be the case here at all, no.
Oh, well, if people see one white speck, maybe they can send a picture in and then we can we can say that we definitely did have a white Christmas. Would you like to see a white Christmas?
Of course I would. I mean, it's quite nostalgic. I mean, you think of a white Christmas, you think back to when you're younger, you know, getting days off of school and building a snowman, and it's quite a nice festive thing as well. But how about yourself? Would you like a white Christmas this year?
I think maybe. I mean, this looks a bit traumatic. This,
Yeah.
if anyone was stuck in that trying to get home, that would be not too fun. But I don't know. I feel like if there's snow outside your window and it's Christmas Day and you're watching, you know, Home Alone maybe or another film, it can be quite fun to look outside and see the same thing on your screen as is out your window. So it could be fun. I think I would like a white Christmas, but maybe not so much coming home. So maybe it would be away.
Maybe if you stay indoors.
Yeah, maybe so. Thank you so much, Naila. Thank you. All right, time for a quick break coming up now, but we will take a look at our top story again, where blue badge holders parking outside Camson's pharmacy in Sittingbourne have started receiving parking fines despite parking legally. And a new art shop opened in New Romney, encourages people to buy locally this Christmas. All that and more after the break, so we will see you then. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome back to Kent Tonight Live on KMTV. I'm Kristen Hawthorne and here are your top stories on Monday the 22nd of December. Yellow fines. Sittingbourne Blue Badge holders receive double yellow parking fines that they say are unjust. The Season of Hope. A Gillingham family is using the festive season to give back, raising money for Muscular Dystrophy UK. And we meet the Therapups, bringing joy to hospital wards across Kent and Medway. But first, a look back at our top story tonight. Dozens of Sittingbourne pharmacy customers have been fined for parking at the entrance to an industrial estate while collecting their medication. Many of these customers are Blue Badge holders who are legally allowed to park on double or single yellow lines for up to 3 hours, provided that it's a public road. Campson's pharmacy customers have parked there for decades without punishment, until between July and November, where residents suddenly started receiving penalty notices, as Megan Shaw has been finding out.
A quick trip to the pharmacy and a £100 fine, despite no signage indicating a change of policy. Sittingbourne's Campson's pharmacy customers for decades have been stopping on double yellow lines at the entrance to an industrial estate to quickly collect medication. That's until July to October this year, when customers were hit with fines from One Parking Solution on behalf of the apartment complex next door, Springfield Place.
We've been parking over in the same positions that car is now for 40 years, going into the chemist, having been to the doctors, and have never had a problem parking. In July, I parked. I was literally there for maybe 1 minute 30 seconds, and during that time, they filmed me from the camera up there. I inadvertently didn't realise that there was a sign, it's a new sign, and in that 1 minute 30, I got a £100 fine.
Blue Badge holders are able to park on double yellow lines for up to 3 hours, yet there is no signage to indicate Blue Badge restrictions apply here. Now I'm stood just where people with these blue badges would have parked, just for 5 or 10 minutes to pop into the pharmacy, which I can see just over there. Without this parking option here, just how far would people with mobility issues and blue badges need to walk to be able to access the pharmacy? Well, come with me and we'll see. It might not be a substantial walk for someone able-bodied like me, but it's a significantly longer trip to park in one of the adjacent streets, providing their space in the first place. And for Blue Badge holders who might have mobility issues or have COPD like Mike, you can see how this could prevent them from accessing the medical care they need.
I was pretty angry because I didn't see any signage at all when I come in. I've been parking, I've lived in Sittingbourne 47 years and I've parked here for years, always done the same thing, always put my Blue Badge up, so I didn't think I'd done anything wrong. I did appeal it, and then I got a letter back saying that the appeal was rejected.
Residents described temporary signage, but when I got there I saw just the one, halfway into the estate, a while away from where residents were being fined. Campson's pharmacy explained their patients were unhappy with the situation, having received many fines, yet due to the charges being enforced by a private company, had little say in the matter. We approached One Parking Solution for comment, but they did not get back to us. But with no final clarity from One Parking Solution, residents like Mike and Ken are simply left to read between the lines. Megan Shaw for KMTV in Sittingbourne.
And of course, Megan Shaw joins me now to tell us more. So, do you have an update about this?
Yes, so the situation has been referred to a compliance team for investigation with the International Parking Community, which is the trade association for the private sector. Also that day, I did speak to Ronald Diamond. He received his first ever parking fine, which cost him £60 after picking up his prescription in October. He appealed the notice online and in writing, and he received a debt recovery notice 2 months later in December, still with no correspondence. So here's him here speaking about that.
Neither company had the courtesy to answer my correspondence. But the strange thing is about this, after receiving the first fine, or the first notice, I went back to that site, to Campson's again. I took the opportunity to go to the site, and lo and behold, all the notices and anything else to do with this particular area had vanished. They've gone completely. Now, I didn't understand. I couldn't find a sign that said what was on the parking notice as Springfield Place. So I spoke to the council and they assured me there was no such thoroughfare or road, etc., named Springfield Place. So I'm really quite mystified as, first of all, to getting the fine and what's going on here.
So Megan, we've obviously seen there customers that have been affected. Have the actual pharmacy themselves been affected as well?
Absolutely. So the statement in that report kind of revolves around the customers, as you said, but the pharmacy themselves, with their deliveries and things like that, they've faced £800 in fines. They didn't know this legislation had changed and that the cameras were installed until these kind of fines came through. They've also said that patients are still attending the pharmacy, so it's not affected business, but if it continues, they've said it will put people off coming to the pharmacy, which is, of course, a worry there.
All right, thank you so much, Megan. Now, a charity helping women on probation to reintegrate back into society has opened a new centre in Kent. Advance was originally set up as a domestic abuse charity more than 25 years ago in London, and now supports women caught up in the criminal justice system across South England. This is the second women's centre in Kent, with another one in Canterbury, as Nadia Hudges told us earlier.
We managed to launch our second site in Kent in Maidstone. We launched on the 15th of October this year. And what we do is we provide emotional support to women who are on probation or coming out of prison. But we also provide practical support for those women as well to really kind of enhance their reintegration back into society and really ensure that they do work with probation in terms of compliance and completing their orders and their conditions. Often what we find is women have criminogenic needs. There are different reasons why women in particular are coming into contact with criminal justice. And often this is linked to mental health or coercive and controlling relationships and being in cycles that are really harmful to them. So providing spaces like the Women's Centre allows women to come into spaces that are non-judgmental, where women can really open up. We are an organisation that's for women by women, so we only employ women.
Excellent story there. But what's your priority when you're doing your Christmas shopping? Is it price, delivery time, or practicality? Well, one newly opened shop argues it should be quality, with all their stock being handmade locally. Made on the Marsh is an art store started by 3 artists with the aim to bring artistry back to their community. And with us doing our Christmas shopping, well, if some people are going to be doing it today or even on Christmas Eve, this might be the place to go. Carrie Bratton and Zoe Beardsley joined us earlier to talk a bit more about the store.
We have 22 artists in total, including ourselves, and all of us are artists. And it's a chance for us to give back to the community and to sell our work. So it works for the artists, it works for the Bromley Marsh community as well. Everything that we have in the shop is handmade. It's handmade, it's local, it's made by somebody who lives on Bromley Marsh. It's very much a local focus, helping a local charity.
And you only opened there on the 1st of December. How's the first month been, and what has the feedback been from the community?
Absolutely amazing. Everybody's really, really positive about it, aren't they?
Yeah, it's so nice when people come in that even if they don't buy something, they come in and they say something lovely. They'll leave and they'll say, oh, it's such a nice shop. It's such a nice atmosphere. Aren't there so many talented people? And that's one of the best things is we're throwing a focus on the fact that there's so much talent out there. We fill this shop 3 times over with artists. There's so many talented artists out there.
Everything you sell at Made on the Marsh is handmade locally, as you said. What's the importance of shopping small at Christmas from local businesses as opposed to maybe online at chain businesses instead?
So if you don't use your local shops, they close. They can't afford to stay open if they're not being used. And I had a criticism given to This Week Online, as ever. Well, if you can't afford to run a business, you shouldn't. Well, no, okay, but we can only afford to run a business if we have customers who are prepared to use that business. And especially when we are very small businesses, which each of our artists is essentially an individual small business within our shop, it's the only way for those businesses to keep going and to have things that are made in the UK. And we say we want to shop British, we want to buy British, and that's the opportunity to do it. You can come, everything that we hear is a local product.
Do you think shops like yours helps to support local creatives, like the ones you're supporting now? And can you tell us about the importance of that, especially maybe at this time of year?
Yeah, it's basically a living for us creative people. It's,
you can only create if you can afford to create.
Exactly.
There's a limit to how much you can create in your own home, a legend in your own bedroom. It's one of those things, or a legend in your own basement even, but it's one of those things that you can only create at the sort of level that our creators are. You can sell those. You can't infinitely things away because it is relatively expensive if you're doing that, but you want to sell things at a reasonable price as well. So no one is going to become a millionaire through being here. So many of the artists will say to us, I do this for my mental health, I knit for my mental health, or I create because it puts me in a different space. So it helps on so many different levels.
And unfortunately for right now, that's all the time we have. But stay with us for more after the break, as I'll be talking about a new Scandinavian-inspired sauna, which has started construction in Folkestone. And after a recent donation, Kent and Medway Pets as Therapy team has invested more into their therapy dog's attire. And we'll be taking a look back at all the sports highlights from across the year as well. So we'll be back with you shortly. Don't go anywhere. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome back to Kent Tonight Live here on KMTV. Now, a new seaside sauna is set to open in Folkestone in the coming year. The Folkestone Harbour Arm has partnered with local company Sea Scrub Sauna, which already has multiple locations throughout Kent, to open a Scandinavian-inspired sauna spa. Work has begun on the site after recent planning permission approval. However, criticism has been lodged at the approval, citing potential flooding risks. Detractors argue that flooding risk isn't adequately addressed within the plans and that there's a lack of risk mitigation for the site. Despite this, though, the companies involved hope the attraction bolsters Folkestone's tourism economy and draws more people to the location. Now, after almost 50 years, Sally Foster will be working her last shift at Kent and Canterbury Hospital on Boxing Day. The nurse is set to retire after first stepping into the ward in November 1978. Sally Foster said the past 5 years have been a blast, including her current role as a healthcare assistant. She goes on to explain how things are different when she started, and she also said that it was all handwritten. They didn't have computers back when she started as well, which is quite a surprise. And Kent and Medway's Pets as Therapy team has 14 pups, all with an important role. The dogs and their volunteer owners wander the wards at hospitals around the county to bring comfort to patients staying without their furry friends. Following a generous donation by a former patient, they now own personalised vests and leads. Our reporter Chloe Brewster went to Sheppey to meet one of the cutest of the crew.
Pets are often left at home when people enter hospital, but since COVID, the NHS has found a new way to bring patients some comfort. Medway
Sorry for those technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you back that in just a minute. Now, don't forget you can keep up to date with all our latest stories from across Kent by logging onto our website kmtv.co.uk. There you'll find reports including this one, which takes a look at how vape shops across Kent are ignoring rules, requiring them to provide safe disposable services as concerns grow over batteries causing fires.
Shops in Kent are ignoring rules requiring them to provide safe disposal services as concerns grow over the batteries causing fires.
Inside a vape such as this one is a lithium battery, and if this is not recycled properly, it does pose the hazard of setting alight.
Experts from Material Focus, a not-for-profit organisation focused on electrical waste, estimate that roughly 10 million vapes were thrown away in Kent in 2024.
The whole risk kicks in when they go to the wrong place, which is into bins, so bins at home, public bins, sometimes incorrectly recycled with other recycling. So people think that they're doing the right thing, but in fact they're putting something that ends up being dangerous, because if it goes onto a waste truck or it's handled at a waste site and people aren't planning for vapes to be in there, then it's very likely that it will be compacted. And when it's compacted, it could break the shell, and that's when the problems come. So when the lithium cell is sort of damaged, it comes in contact with air or water, it can flame.
Across Maidstone, Rochester, Gravesend, Tunbridge, Canterbury and Dartford, only 5 out of the 30 retailers inspected agreed to accept used batteries or vapes. Many said they did not have to take returns, and when asked why, wrongly claimed they did not have to. In line with regulations, V&M Mobile and VX Exchange in Maidstone were one of the few stores to accept used batteries. I spoke to some local residents to find out whether there should be more awareness around the restrictions and how often they recycle.
As much as I can, yeah. You know, there is some occasions where, you know, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere and have to just find the nearest kind of bin or whatever, but I do as much as I can.
It should just be banned. It should just be banned. It's just littering everywhere and, as I say, causing hazardous things. It's just not good, not good.
Because it's good to make the public aware about it so they can keep everyone safe, even those who vape about.
A spokesperson from Maidstone Borough Council said lithium batteries in waste bins create a serious fire and safety risk. Retailers selling vapes should have a provision for taking back used items, and the Kent County Council Household Waste Recycling Centres will be able to accept these items free of charge. Like all batteries, lithium ones can be a fire risk if they're damaged or thrown away with general waste. Mark Goslin from Kent Fire and Rescue Service said, "It is advised for everyone to recycle them properly at designated collection points rather than putting them in the bin. It's important to remember that once a lithium battery hits the bin, the danger doesn't disappear, it just begins somewhere else." Maisie Walker for KMTV, Maidstone.
And apologies for the delay, but here is the story on Kent and Medway's Pets as Therapy team. Take a look.
Pets are often left at home when people enter hospital, but since COVID, the NHS has found a new way to bring patients some comfort. Medway NHS Foundation Trust have 13 therapy dogs who visit the wards regularly. They say having this set of pets help to comfort patients and lend a paw towards recovery.
I'm here at Sheppey Community Hospital on the frailty unit, and I'm here with Daisy, who's got an important job to do.
Each dog here goes through a kind of doggy DBS, testing things like temperament and sociability before being on call for visits. Daisy is one of the smallest of the crew, joining the team at Sheppey 6 months ago.
When I was in hospital, I had dogs come round it when I was at Medway, and it does give you a lift. There's no front with a dog. What you see is what you get, and that is lovely. Because she was a rescue dog anyway, it's good that she gets to see all these different people and help break down any barriers or any inhibitions that she has.
The Pets as Therapy team has been around since COVID, with all dogs and owners joining on a voluntary basis. Many of them are retired or staff bringing in their pets outside of work hours. The pups have recently been kitted out in named bandanas and leads, courtesy of donation by the family of a former patient, Lisa Young, who took particular comfort in having the dogs by her side.
I think it's really good for patients to come in and see, especially when they're missing. They've been at Medway and they've come into hospital, they're missing their loved ones, they're missing their animals. Obviously we don't get cats, but obviously a lot of people are missing their cats, but a dog is just the same when they come along and give them a bit of affection. They really do like it.
So you can definitely tell the difference it makes for the patients, especially those that got animals at home. So they will tell us about all wild dogs at home, or about a dog they once had, or even our patients with dementia, it will take them back to their younger days when they had dog, and you can see their faces light up. So they do enjoy, most of them, having the dog around.
These dogs are not just here for Christmas. They're here year-round to leave a positive impact on those who need them most. Chloe Brewster for KMTV in Sheppey.
Certainly a very cute dog there, I have to say. And now Invictus Sports has its last episode of 2025 tonight. So rather than looking at what might have been the biggest headlines in sports in that episode, we wanted to highlight some of the other moments that we were most proud of, whether it was a chat with a sports person who might not normally get the spotlight, or a piece that really shined a light on a specific moment, small club or some of Kent's sporting prowess. Let's have a look.
Well, it's been an incredible year for sports here in the country and in the county. Kicking off the year, we had Luke Littler taking the title of youngest PDC World Darts Champion in history, aged just 17. He went on to become the world-ranked number one. The Nuke is also the reigning back-to-back Grand Slam champion and the reigning UK Open champion. So to celebrate here at the KMTV office, we had our own darts championship, complete with nicknames, bullseyes, and some highlights that would put Ali Pally to shame.
All right, triple 20, here we go. All right, 8.
In football news, the Gills equalled their best ever unbeaten run in 132 years, going 21 games in a row without a loss. Starting with a 1-0 win against Bradford City in March, the record continued with wins and draws against Accrington Stanley, Walsall, Harrogate, Colchester, Salford, Chesterfield, MK Dons, Cheltenham, Swindon, Port Vale, and then a few more as it continued even into the next season. The dream of beating their record dating back to 1979 came to an end against Newport County in a 3-1 loss away from home. Next, in May, Whitstable Town won the FA Vase for the first time, coming from 2-1 down to beat AFC Whiteleaf at Wembley Stadium, thanks to goals from Harvey Smith and Ronald Sithole. In sunny weather at Wembley Stadium, the Whitstable players celebrated, hugging each other in relief. The Oystermen play in the Southern Counties East Football League and thoroughly enjoyed their celebrations.
I think it's really good, to be fair. I mean, I was like that as well, getting my shirt signed, getting everything signed, so yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
It's so surreal. I mean, even since Sunday, it still hasn't really sunk in what we've done. I was just literally talking with a fan, it's not like we've won the league or we've won a cup in the league. This is the pinnacle of what it means to be non-league.
Then in September, England Women's managed to win the Rugby World Cup in a final against Canada. And we spoke to Rosie Gallagher, who's from Kent and was part of the winning squad, about what the victory was like.
For sure. I think over 5.8 million people watched it on TV, let alone the 81,000 also at the game. So hopefully we've shown the nation that you can be whatever shape or size you want to be and still play rugby. There's some big girls out there, there's some small girls out there, there's some fast, there's some slower. everyone's got their own talents and everyone's got their own superpowers, and that is what's so special. So if you haven't picked up a rugby ball and you fancy it, please do, because I promise you, you won't look back.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us.
And it was more success for the England women's teams as the Lionesses got revenge for the men's from last year by beating Spain on penalties and becoming the first English team to win on foreign soil back-to-back. They recorded wins against Italy, Sweden, Wales, France and the Netherlands to get to the final in St Jacob Park in Basel in Switzerland. And back on home soil, Kent was watching for their star player Alessia Russo, who's originally from Maidstone and played at Bearsted FC before her moves to Chelsea, Brighton, Manchester United and Arsenal. All in all, it's been a hugely successful year for Kent sports and the country as a whole, and that's not even mentioning any certain F1 drivers who trained at Brands Hatch and Buckmore Park, so fingers crossed that 2026 holds as many iconic sporting moments. Finn McDermott for KMTV.
And Finn will be presenting Invicta Sport straight after the show this evening, so it looks like it's one to watch tonight and not to be missed. But you've been watching Kent Tonight live on